This particular beatitude is the keynote one, the one that I feel that is the most important and probably the most controversial, mainly because it requires a sense of self-honesty on my part and your part. And I just want to start off with this, and it's important for you to understand. People go to church or people read books so they can learn doctrine, philosophy. They're usually trying to improve themselves in some way so they can be a success and have everything they want. And they really want to believe that that's what they're here in this life to do, but that is not true. Blessed are they that are merciful. What does that mean? What is this thing called mercy? It's the most important beatitude other than blessed are the pure in heart. And the reason being is if you're pure in your heart, you're going to be merciful. Mercy has nothing to do with looking at another person and saying, I feel sorry for you for what you did, or how could you do that? I'll forgive you. We've talked about that. It's more than that. It's the ability you have to hurt another person through righteous vengeance, and you choose not to do it. A couple of weeks ago, I was watching a movie. You can rent it if you want. It's called Facing Ali. Yes, Muhammad Ali. And different boxers are talking about what it was like to face Muhammad Ali in the ring. But the one that was most interesting to me was George Foreman when he was in Zaire, and Ali had the chance to throw the punch. And Foreman talks about it. He said, had he thrown that punch, it would have killed me. And what did Ali choose to do? You can see it on the video. He pulls back. Later, Ali was asked, why did you pull back? And he said, I just couldn't do it to him. It wasn't worth it. That is being merciful. He had the chance to put not only the fight away and make a big splash for himself, but he would have hurt his fellow boxer, and he chose not to do it. I knew Muhammad Ali for a little while in my life, and I'm telling you, this man was very kind. It's hard to believe that a guy that was in that violent a business was so merciful, but he really was. And when the time came, when push came to shove, when the rubber met the road, Ali came forth with kindness. Why? That's none of my business, and I'm not going to get into that. I have my own personal insights into that, but I'll tell you, he showed us all what it is really about to be a merciful person, a loving person, a kind. And I'm just going to give it to you right here. You and I have karma. I have karma, you have karma. The reason we came onto this earth was to find our karma, to realize it, and then to change. Maybe to transcend it and use that karma as a way of transcendence rather than using it as punishment, which most people think that's what you do with karma, which isn't true at all. There isn't any of us who can't look back at our life, none of us who can't look back at our life and see the crummy things we've done, both to other people and ourselves, in the name of justice or self-righteousness or vengeance. And no matter who you are out there who have done those things to other people, thinking you were only doing what was fair and right, I am telling you it wasn't fair nor right. I've had people say and do things to me that were my colleagues that were not fair and right. And you got to look at people like that and you understand they know not what they do. It doesn't matter who you are or what you think you're doing or how much you and I might think we're right. We have to realize, I know not what I do. And once you begin to have that kind of poor in spirit mentality, humility, that is when things begin to authentically change in your life. Not in your outer life, but in your inner life, where you and I begin to recognize what karma was really all about and what we're doing here on earth. This is a very difficult place to live. if you haven't noticed. It's very challenging. We have to go through many trials and tribulations on this earth, and we enter into the karma of other people, our own. It clashes, and before you know it, we're acting and reacting from a place within us that is hostile. And that just adds more and more to the difficulties of our life. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. The mercy that I can give you, the mercy I would show you, where I could actually have every right to persecute you, hurt you, even the score, and I don't. Just like Ali pulling that punch. That is the mercy we came here to find in our life. And you're not going to get it by begging, borrowing, or stealing. You're going to get it by demonstrating mercy in your own life. I hope you found the uniqueness of my message here on Aspire, and that you will help sustain our effort both on radio and here on TV to keep Aspire on the air, to keep it serving humankind. We need your sponsorship to do this. Your sponsorship is what allows us to be here and to serve humankind the way we do. If you're interested, go to the website at aspire.org and go take a look at support. I deeply appreciate it. Now back to Aspire. Everything I've said to you, both in this particular beatitude and all the others, sounds like a foreign language, I know. And a lot of you could argue your points about why you would not forgive someone or be merciful to someone who was unkind to you. You have to hear these beatitudes from consciousness, not from conscience. You can't hear the beatitudes from your genetic heart. You have to hear it from the pure in heart. And if you can't hear them from there, then you don't see the bigger picture of what the Beatitudes are all about. Jesus said in many different ways, "What reward have you if you only love them that love you? You have no reward." And remember when they were going to stone the prostitute? And he said, "Ye without sin, let him cast the first stone," and everyone walked away. Every time he tried to show the meaning of life, there was always more problems than he could actually deal with, humanly speaking. Because in the end of his own life, those very people that he saved were the ones that said, "Let's crucify him." So you have to understand, this is not a popular insight, what I'm giving to you here. But if you've ever wondered what the meaning of your life is, it wasn't to have more babies and a bigger family. It wasn't to have all the money you ever wanted and all the stuff you ever wanted and all the emotional gratification you ever wanted. It was really all about just one simple thing. Can you give the mercy that is necessary to others that you would like for yourself? The kind of things we do to the world and to people, though justified in our minds, it always comes back to bite us one way or the other. And people don't want to see their faults. Seeing my fault means I must admit I have faults. I have faults. Everybody does. But it's not that I'm really talking about. It's the meanness inside of us, the need, the hunger and thirst for revenge. And that's really what we're talking about here, avenging ourselves. How many counselees have I had in the course of my lifetime who have felt that they were done wrong by either the husband or the wife or the kids or whatever and sought vengeance? I can't even count them all. I have been so surprised all throughout my career about this idea of wanting vengeance. It seems to be something that most people even prize. They want it. They look forward to it. They think they're doing something right. And we know when we're doing it, we're doing something mischievous to our own life. Everything you do to another, you and I are doing to ourselves. Now, I want you to look at your worst enemy right now. Just look at them. Close your eyes and feel them. Why is it that you hate them so much? Why is it that you look at them as your enemy? What makes them your enemy? If you look at it, it will be that your emotionality's in play. Your thoughts are justifying your emotionality, telling you they shouldn't have done this, they cheated you out of that, this wasn't right, that wasn't right. You're looking into the future and making up stories about the me, the you, the I. You're looking back in your past and feeling maybe sorry for yourself. There's all sorts of ways to deal with this and why we make up stories about what it is that people do to us and why we have the right to be so cruel. I cannot talk you down from that. You have to have a sense of consciousness. If you have not developed a prayerful, meditative consciousness inside you that you actually live by, it's a lifestyle within you, you will just be taking it on the chin for the rest of your life and just kind of bearing down, going, all right, I'm not going to throw that punch. I'm not going to throw that punch. But inside, you're going to want to throw that punch, and that's throwing the punch. So there's no way around it. The merciful attitude is to really realize deep inside of you that the person I'm looking at that has ever done anything to me that was unkind, unnecessary, and cruel was just like me. And I don't know where I did it maybe in my life. Nobody can look back at their life and say, well, I was a jerk here, I was unkind there, I said this and I really didn't need to. I did that, and well, while at the time it looked like a good idea, it didn't turn out to be one, or I hurt someone I really didn't need to hurt. We don't want to see those things. So just take it as a whole inside of you that you and I have done some pretty outrageous things in the course of our lifetime in the name of what we call self-righteousness or rightness. That is the story. We're making up stories, making up the story about me and thee and what's going on in our life. And it's time when a person is willing to be a person of consciousness rather than a person who lives in the collective unconscious, to step away from my pedestrian mentality and move back and see the genetic heart at work, because it's only in my genetic heart that I can hate. If you didn't get everything I was talking about here on the program, you can download the whole series from the website at aspire.org. And for those of you who are sponsors, you can download them for free. The donation for them goes to purchase more airtime of our radio and our TV program, and it is considered, as I said, a donation. Order yours today, and if you're a sponsor, download them right away. Thanks for watching. Now back to Aspire. It is very difficult to listen to a Buddha or a Jesus, a Lao-Tzu, when one has no sense of consciousness. When we're living our life in the literal manner, which most of us do, we miss what is really important, and we replace the idea of consciousness with the need for success and think that if we're doing well in the world, we must be doing well within. And that assumption is the one that hurts us the most, because that's just simply not true. It has nothing to do with the reality of what we're going through. I have found in my own life that there are very interesting setups that we go through in the course of a lifetime. Life will set you up to do well here, or life will set you up to do well there. It's really my karma setting me up. And then as I go down the road, I start to realize that the setup had nothing to do with the meaning of my life, because the meaning of my life is about obtaining mercy. And what I did is I became more ruthless, more unkind. I became more selfish and self-centered. And then I missed the obtain mercy thing. If there is anything you obtain in this life, it is grace. That's what we're looking for. The grace to have the ability to be forgiven and to forgive. It is the greatest power on earth that we have. It has nothing to do with money and prosperity and all that other stuff that you will hear teachers luring you into to try to get you into their flock. It has nothing to do with that. And those who are fooled by that are only showing the pretentious attitude they have about their apathy towards authentic consciousness. We are here in the sea of a loving consciousness. We are here to awaken in that consciousness. And as we go through our life, we're gathering energy within ourselves. And this energy then goes out into life and starts to formulate situations and conditions. And we think, oh, they're looking pretty rosy. But there's always that day that Jesus talked about, where the rich man became even more wealthy, tore down his old barns, built new barns, and said, I think I'll eat, drink, and be merry. A little parable Jesus gave. And then Jesus threw the clinker in there, the real clinker, and that is, yet one night your soul will be required of you. And what will those things mean? They will mean absolutely nothing. You want the grace that allows you to have the freedom to forgive and give. If you and I cannot forgive, we can't give. I measure a person's quality of love by the consciousness they're willing to have within themselves to forgive everyone. It is just the way you look at people. Your worst enemy is the part of ourselves, myself, that I don't want to admit lives inside of me. The things that have happened to me that look unfair or unkind were opportunities for me to be merciful. And if I missed them because I was too busy feeling sorry for myself, self-righteous or selfish, I blew it again. We are not here to have everything our way. We are here to find the way. Being merciful is the way. It is the whole meaning of our own existence. And should we ignore it for the sake of our own earthly benefit, we fall into that pedestrian mentality that can't understand love. How do you understand love? I have to dismiss myself from the genetic heart of old Gregory and begin to find that pure in heart that allows me to have the grace, the willingness of grace, to look at everything and find the love in everything, in everyone, in every situation. The ability to see it, recognize it, not from the apathy of my pedestrian Greg Penn mentality, but from the heart and the soul of me. Because one night, no matter how good you think your life is, one night, your soul will be required of you. And what will those things mean that you have accomplished, that you thought were going to be the guardians of your good and bestow upon you eternal happiness, which doesn't exist? We live in a very powerful setting here on earth, and everything we do matters. Every single nuance of our life and everything we do in our life matters. It is either going to become a consequence of our living, or it's going to be the threshold of our life. And I am the one that decides which one it's going to be. For the most part, we live in that apathetic point of view where we think, oh, these are little things, they won't matter. I did the best I could. God will take care of me. But those are just philosophies. Jesus is not for the person who is learning religion through apathy. He is a man of consciousness. He is a being of consciousness. He's a visitor who came to this earth to help us in so many beautiful ways if we have ears to hear. Please forgive me. Namaste.